I am her fireman. Alright, time to talk about Twin Peaks The Return, part 13 and 14. Two really good episodes. They kindly folk the feek. No, they finally broke the streak of really good episode, not so great, really good, not so great. 13 and 14 were both really, really good. 13 had one of my favorite scenes of the entire series, the opening scene of the Mitchums and Candy and the girls and Dougie doing the kind of conga into the offices and the insurance place where Dougie works, and the music. It was just so funny, and Tom Sizemore's kind of holy shit reaction. Like, it was just so bizarre and wonderful. I was just laughing so much, suppressing laughter so much because it was like 3 in the morning. The tears were streaming out of my eyes. I just kept watching it again and again. That scene is just a joy to me. And seeing how pleased the Mitchums are at the money was just fantastic. And then we kind of follow the odyssey of Bad Cooper coming back and taking care of Ray, having the arm wrestling scene. It's one of those moments where you really root for the bad guy just because he's so badass and awesome, and Kyle MacLachlan was fantastic as Bad Cooper in that scene in the warehouse. And the arm wrestling scene was just so fantastic. And then he learnt more about Philip Jeffries, who keeps coming back into the fold, which is really, really interesting. And at the end of that episode, we had James Hurley singing the Just You song from the original Twin Peaks, which back then was a little weird, and even weirder now to hear the exact same 25-year-old voice singing it. But it was what it was. And we keep getting these weird kind of just random scenes of characters who never show up again, having conversations in booths in the Roadhouse. Also in episode 13 we got Ed Hurley back, sitting across from Norma, and it was like, holy shit, they're still together, how awesome, you know. I guess I just assumed that it didn't work out, and then you find out it didn't. And there's a guy who's kind of branching out Norma's diner to other places and is romantically involved with her, and Ed goes and sits in another booth, and we have a very sad ending of the episode, or not sad but just melancholy, of Ed just sat at the gas farm just drinking his soup, and that's it. It's kind of sad, really. You always kind of hope that Ed and Norma would figure it out, and Nadine meeting up with Dr. Jacoby, you know. I'm not sure how I feel about her having a silent drape runner shop. Seems again a bit on the nose, I suppose, but the whole show's like that anyway. 14 was a really massive episode, really. I mean, we had finally, and it feels like the timeline's getting a bit messed up, because I mean, I think it was like episode 9 or even earlier when Bobby and Truman and Hawk found out the message to go to this Jack Rabbit's palace, I think it's called, out in the woods, and they're like, right, that's in 2 days' time. And then so much has happened since, you know, with Bobby and Hawk and Truman. And then in episode 13, Bobby was like, yeah, we found this thing that my dad left earlier today. It's like, earlier today? That was like, felt like last week, you know, but I don't know how the timeline really works up. But we're kind of jumping between time a little bit, and through dimensions, I guess, in some way, because there's all sorts of weird stuff happening. And they eventually go out. It's Andy, Hawk, Truman, and Bobby. They go out into the woods and they find this woman, who I think was the woman that Cooper encountered when he was leaving the Black Lodge, and she's there. And at first I thought that it was, oh, what's her name? I've forgotten her name completely. Joan Chen. Oh man, in the original Twin Peaks. How can I forget her character name? Josie. I thought it was Josie. I was like, holy shit, but it wasn't Josie. And really big moment for Andy. He got to go to wherever that place was, where the giant is, or he's now called the Fireman. And got to see all these visions of things, and none of them remember what happened when they came out of that place or out of that area of the woods. So again, just lots of questions being raised. We got a bit more backstory on the Blue Rose Task Force, which was really cool. Again, I'm so intrigued by the story of Philip Jeffries. We got to see David Bowie in archival footage form, which was really cool. The dream sequence was fantastic with David Lynch saying, I had another dream about Monica Bellucci again, and it's just like, well, this is so random, you know, but I loved it at the same time. It was just really intriguing, the ambient noise of that dream sequence as he was telling Tammy and Albert about it was really cool. I loved that that track. And then we find out Diane is the half sister of Janie E, and so that's how they know to go and find Dougie, I suppose. Lots going on. The place where Ray and Bad Cooper were in episode 13. Jerry Horn turns up and doesn't say anything, so God knows what's happening with him. Another scene of Audrey and her husband, which doesn't really answer anything. I don't know what the hell is going on with Audrey. I was really hoping for something a bit more substantial from her in this series, but again, who knows what the end game is. And I've just realized that not only am I now up to date, because tonight is when episode 15 is being shown. There's 4 episodes left. Like, holy shit, it feels like there's nowhere near enough time to wrap everything up, and that's where I have to realize to myself that that's where I have to realize within myself that this isn't going to get wrapped up in a neat little package. This is going to be David Lynch all the way, and we're going to be debating the ending for years to come, probably. And I've already been reading up all the wild theories people have about this series, that you know, that even the whole original series of Twin Peaks was just a dream, and that we're all dreaming within the dream. Like, I don't know. I think people are looking a bit too much into it, but at the same time, it's one of those shows where you can really look into all those different elements. The owl ring came back in episode 13. Lots of cool little references and so on. And Truman telling Gordon Cole about the pages of Laura Palmer's diary, and that there's 2 Coopers, you know, potentially. It's kind of funny when Gordon Cole called up Lucy, and he's like, "Lucy, is that you? Have you really been there for all these years?" And she's like, "Well, no. You know, me and Andy go on holiday every year." And Cole's just like, "Really?" What else was there in episode 14? Holy shit. The Sarah Palmer scene in the bar, where that creepy guy comes up to her, she fucking takes her face off. Says, "Do you really want to mess with someone like me?" And bites his neck off. Like, what the fuck was that? Oh my god, what a holy shit moment. And there was a scene with her in episode 13 where she just sat down, drinking, going, getting more drinks, and it's just the same clip of a boxing match over and over and over again on the TV. I mean, it's pure David Lynch, and I love it, and I'm frustrated by it at the same time, and I'm just so along for the ride, and I can't wait to see what happens. We've only got 4 hours left of this monumental series that is just so pleasing in so many ways. Again, I keep thinking of that scene with the Mitchums and Dougie Cooper dancing in. It's just so funny. Also, we had Tom Sizemore's character, I forget his name, trying to poison Dougie, and Dougie is like really intrigued by his dandruff and starts pressing him on the shoulder, and so he bursts out crying and runs away, and he kind of confesses all his sins to the boss, and he's like, I was gonna poison Dougie, but you know, he figured it all out. I just love how like Cooper / Dougie is just like acing so many things in his life without knowing what the fuck is going on, and no one seems to realize that he is just completely pretty much brain dead, but it's just like sleepwalking through everything, and it's just somehow managing to make all the right moves. You know, like his boss is like, "Dougie had this all figured out, he knows everything, you know, he told me everything you were implicated in." It's just so funny. Oh, and there's a scene with James Hurley and a British guy with a very stereotypical, over-the-top London accent, East End Cockney accent, and he had an interesting story with the glove, and like he's got like this superpower, and he met a guy called the Fireman. You know, I really like that scene because James Marshall, who plays James Hurley, he laughs at something the guy says at one point, and it just looks so genuine. So I really like that moment. It just it felt very natural. So that's it really. There's probably more I could talk about, but you know, just really eager to see where this is gonna continue going, I guess. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with I'll probably try and do single episode videos now, because I'm fully caught up for the first time ever, you know, and I've only been a Twin Peaks fan for a few months, which is crazy to think about. It feels so much longer, but for 4 solitary weeks I get to feel like a true Twin Peaks fan, following along week by week. So I can watch the episode 15 tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. I've got 7 days to kind of watch the episode and keep up to date. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
He's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, 'cause